Greetings and welcome to Roman of the Empire. I'm your host, Roman. Today we're going to do a quick discussion on the return of Russell T Davies to Doctor Who, which was one of my favorite shows for a very long time. I enjoyed Classic Who back in the day. Tom Baker was my doctor from that era. There were other doctors who were fine, but I think most people will agree that Tom Baker was the quintessential doctor of that era. So the series kind of ran its course in the mid 80s and then fizzled out. They tried doing a made-for-TV movie with Paul McGann as the Eighth Doctor. Frankly, I was not a fan. Eric Roberts was in it as the Master, and it was peculiar. And even for Doctor Who standards, I thought it was peculiar. I just didn't think it was very well done. I didn't like it. So then into the closet it goes, on a shelf, in a box with tape on it, until 2005. And Russell T Davies resurrected Doctor Who, brought Christopher Eccleston in to play the Ninth Doctor, who only played it for one season, and then replaced by David Tennant, who played the Doctor for another 3 seasons. And then Stephen Moffat took over the show. But the important thing is the discussion of Russell T Davies. So he really brought the show into the modern era. The effects for Doctor Who are never fantastic, but they were a lot better than the papier-mâché monsters of the 80s. But you got past it again, but the writing was so good. But just the look of the show was better. The acting was better. There was really nothing bad about the show. It was great. Christopher Eccleston's portrayal of the Doctor was just spot on. He was the Doctor we needed to come back, to reintroduce the world to this brilliant character. The show, so Stephen Moffat took over, and then that was the Matt Smith years. He had his run for 3 years. And also, my favorite actor who's ever played the Doctor is Peter Capaldi, who played the 12th Doctor. That was also Stephen Moffat era. Season 9 was arguably the last good season. The BBC put a lot of policies in effect for season 10, and this is just not just for Doctor Who, obviously, but BBC in general, which didn't help their shows. They needed to push in a lot of social programming that, again, didn't raise the quality of the show. You didn't watch Doctor Who for that, nor did you want to get punched in the face with it. Doctor Who always had some moral messages, just like Star Trek did, but it didn't slug you in the face and say, scream it at you as loud as it could. Subtle goes a long way. Anyway, so the Stephen Moffat season 10, not great. There were a couple of good episodes in that season. The Doctor Falls being, I think, a good episode that they failed to capitalize on because they felt the need to make the holiday special, which wasn't bad. With the 2 Doctors, you had the First Doctor and the 12th Doctor, and it was okay. It wasn't fantastic. The Doctor Falls would have been a much more suited and for him, with Missy and the Master. It was just, but it was what it was. Then Chris Chibnall and Jodie Whittaker came along and basically shit not just on the fans, which was bad enough, because if you were a classic Doctor Who fan, then you were a bad person. It's from the perspective of a white male only, because that's who had played the Doctor. Well, it's a British show. That's pretty much what you're going to get. The first female Doctor could have been brilliant. I think Olivia Colman would have done a much better job, but Not with Chibnall running the show, because he's an asshat. He is a talentless writer. He wrote a couple of episodes of Modern Era Who, and they were garbage. And everybody knows this stuff. I'm telling you things you already know, but I'm saying them anyway. So for the last couple of years, we've gotten just garbage. Shit Doctor Who. I didn't even watch the last season. I would watch other YouTubers relay their version of it to save me the horror of having to watch it. I watched her first season, and it was not good. There was nothing good about it. I wanted to say there was going to be some elements that I was hopeful for. The music was terrible. Terrible. I can't emphasize that enough. I'm hoping they bring back the original composer to, again, help re-resurrect the show. I think that's the proper term. Anyway, so I have to say I'm cautiously optimistic about the return of Russell T Davies. He's good. We'll see who he picks as the 14th Doctor. Don't know. And also we have to remember that Chibnall and company still have 2022 to get through. It's going to be a limited season. Fine. Honestly, the less Chibnall and Whittaker that comes across, the happier everyone will be, although you do get to make funny videos about them. But I'd rather have good Doctor Who. So we have to endure 2022, and then 2023 we get Russell T Davies. I'm sure the announcement of who the 14th Doctor will be before then. That will tell us a lot, I think, about where it's going to go as far as the direction of the show. Could be good. There are a lot of good actors out there. What you want is someone who's actually a Doctor Who fan. Whittaker never watched the show. She was not a Doctor Who fan. She didn't like Doctor Who. But she took the role on because it's the role of a lifetime. But then she shat all over the fans and the show and canon. And Chibnall is an asshat. But again, you probably know all of these things. So hoping, cross your fingers, kill a goat, sacrifice a chicken, bring the voodoo guy in with the bones. We want to have fun Doctor Who again. We don't want to get punched in the face with social messages. Will we? Don't know. That's, again, we go back to BBC policy. Davies may have his hands tied. Almost unquestionably, the writing of the show is going to be better because Chibnall is shit. And Davies has proven, without question, he's a good writer. He knows Doctor Who. He knows what the fans want. Can he give them that? Don't know. But let's hope. That's all we can do. Keep your fingers crossed. Endure the next year of Chibnall and his shit factory, and let's hope for the revival of the Doctor in 2023. I am Roman of the Empire, signing off. Be kind.